What's up, everybody? We're gonna do another strength session today. Last time we focused on the back squat. Today we're gonna focus on the front squat, but the big change is actually gonna be the type of training we're gonna do. So what I'm gonna focus on today is what I would call density training or rest pause training. And so all that I'm doing for this type of training is working at a much higher percentage, so 90% or greater, and I'm bunching my reps into what I'm gonna call a cluster. So I'm gonna do 3 sets of 1 with 15 to 20 seconds rest in between each rep. Now what this is gonna allow me to do today is repeat that cluster several times, and my overall volume in terms of total pounds moved is gonna be much higher than a regular strength program by doing this, right? So I'm looking to overload the system, lift more weight within this session by going at a much higher percentage, but breaking up those reps into a small cluster. So I gave the example of 3 by 1 in that cluster. I'm gonna be lifting at a much higher percentage than I would ever attempt 3 reps with. So that's gonna give me my bigger total poundage for the day. For the warm-up sets, I'm focusing just on fast, clean singles. That's what I'm gonna be doing in the working sets. So that's all I'm doing for the warm-up sets. And because I'm working at such a high percentage, I don't want these warm-up sets to fatigue me, right? I'm not counting these at all towards like build-up work in terms of trying to gain any kind of working volume, right? This is all just getting my body ready to lift the really heavy weights, and for that, I don't want to fatigue myself, so I'm just focusing on single reps, clean and fast, getting them in good. Okay, so for the front squat today, obviously when you front squat, there's a bigger demand on your quads, a bigger demand on your midline stability than versus the back squat, right? You don't have anything basically blocking the bar from rolling out of the front rack position except for being able to maintain an upright torso. So flexibility is at a much higher premium when you do front squat, as well as your midline stability and ability to maintain a good front rack position. So those are all kind of characteristics that are unique to the front squat and why you'd want to utilize it. I like to use the front squat for building up my squat clean strength. So the higher your front squat is, the more likely you're going to be able to push that weight out of the bottom of a squat clean if you can catch it, right? So, or if you can receive it in the bottom of the squat. So with my hand placement, although it's probably easier for me to keep a little bit tighter hand placement on the bar when I do a typical front squat, that allows my range of motion to be better and get my elbows higher and keep that front rack position, I'm actually gonna go at least a thumb distance out, or a thumb distance plus half a thumb out on the bar, because that's gonna be my grip when I do squat clean. That's gonna be my grip when I do the jerk, right? So I wanna practice at a heavier weight or at a potential max squat clean weight with my hands being in the appropriate position. Okay, so if I'm constantly just keeping my hands in here, doing what's easier so that I can lift more weight easier on the front squat, that's not gonna benefit me in my Olympic lifts, right? I wanna be able to maintain or practice with the same grip that I'm gonna be doing a squat clean with.
I came from the mud, there's dirt on my hands, strong like a tree, there's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law, hope they won't shoot me down soon.
All right, so just finished my first set, and if you pay attention to those rests, those breaks in between, I'm taking 20 seconds right now. Weights move pretty fast, so I might drop that down to 15 seconds in between each rep. But what I try to focus on is I don't start that clock counting, I don't start my rest counting until I rack the bar, right, and get a look on the clock, see where I'm at. I'm gonna add 15 to 20 seconds to there, and I'm gonna try to time it up so that I unrack the bar as that 20 seconds rolls over. So the weight's on me, I'm getting my feet set, I'm getting ready to squat right as that hits. I'm not gonna wait till that 20-second mark or that 15-second mark before I think about unracking the bar, right? Because you're probably gonna add another 6, 7, 8 seconds to your rest, technically. So I wanna try to time that up right, where it's like, okay, I've got 5, 6 seconds left. I'm gonna get my hands on the bar, start to get myself situated. That way I know I lift, hit the next rep within that rest that I wanted for the time domain. Another thing that this does that's great is at that higher percentage, right? If I were to try to do 3 reps straight with that weight right now, I would be breaking down all over the place. It would be harder to keep my technique and my mechanics where I want to keep them. This allows me to do that. So this allows me to get 3 clean, really great reps at a weight that I otherwise wouldn't be able to move for 3 reps very clean or very safe. Okay, the other thing that we want to touch on, I know we talked a lot about the rest intervals in between the reps. So we're focused on between 15 and 20 seconds in between reps inside each one of those clusters. Also, we want to talk about the rest in between the sets. Now, you're operating at a much higher percentage here, right? So we want to take some extra time. I would say between 3 to 5 minutes between those sets. Give your body a full amount of time to rest, okay? 3 to 5 minutes is going to do that. You may feel recovered right away after you finish that last rep, but your body needs time under a heavier load like this for that many reps to recuperate and make sure that you can hit that second set.
Try to catch me howling at the moon.
Okay, so just wrapped up. Only did 2 sets of those clusters. So in each cluster I had 3 reps. That's only 6 total reps across the strength session, but at such a high percentage, right? A much higher percentage than I would have normally done 6 total reps at any other time, right? So minimal effective dose is what you want to focus on if you're using this type of training, okay? What is the minimal amount that I can get the most return from in order to make sure that the training is both effective as well as safe, right? So you don't need to bang out hundreds of reps doing something like this. Make sure those rest ranges are between 10 and 20 seconds, not longer than that, not a whole lot, not any shorter than 10 seconds, right? Keep it between that 10 to 20 second range, and you don't need a huge amount of volume when you're operating at this high of a percentage to get the adaptation that you want. Okay, to finish up today for some accessory work, I'm gonna focus on the quads. Like I mentioned before, front squat puts a lot more demand on the quad, so we're gonna blast those out on the reverse hyper today. I've been working on, for the past couple weeks, 5 sets of 20 on each leg. I'm gonna do single leg extensions or knee extensions to make sure that I'm getting a good balance. Make sure that I'm using each leg individually and getting the maximum amount out of each quad rather than one favoring the other if I put both feet in the strap. That's especially important to me because I'm rehabbing a knee injury or my quad injury from 2 years ago. I still gotta keep on top of that every day. So what I focus on here, again, is to add a little bit more weight and let the momentum kind of swing back. I'm not really trying to slow the weight down on the way back on that extension and then really squeezing my quad at the top, right? Really focusing as the weight continues to go up. I flex as hard as I possibly can at the top, let go, let the kind of momentum go back, and don't try to stop it on the way down. I also have a band attached in the back, so there's progressive resistance. As the weight starts to swing up, the lift gets a little bit harder, or the extension gets a little bit harder, and that's that much more emphasis to squeeze the quad at the top and really just burn them out. So I'm gonna do 5 sets of 20 on each leg, and I'm only gonna take about a minute rest in between each set. Remember, for accessories, guys, as a CrossFitter, CrossFit Games athlete, I look for maybe 1, maybe 2 accessories after a strength lift, but I'm not gonna go overboard in the accessory division of strength training, right? Because as a CrossFit Games athlete, I'm doing all those other reps and extra reps in a workout. That needs to be my main priority. So these accessories are to kind of knock out some, or isolate some muscles, some muscle groups to make sure that they get stronger. But I don't want to overdo it with accessories. So typically I only pick 1 movement after my strength training. So today it was mostly focused on the quads. So that's what I picked today to kind of knock out on the reverse hyper. Hope you guys enjoyed this strength session. If you got any questions, remember put them down in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.